So, good evening, everyone. Good evening and welcome. Welcome to College Park Hall for the 14th Athletics Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I'm Jim Mclaughlin, class of 1993, Director of Athletics, and it's an absolute privilege to be in this role. This has always been a very special day for us because it's a time that we're allowed to look back in our illustrious history and really honor the most deserving student athletes and teams in the history of our college. It also gives us the opportunity to welcome Brian Speck wearing a sport coat for the one time every 2 years, and we really enjoy that. It's a special evening because there are so many firsts with this class, from All-Americans to NCAA tournament teams, and it's interesting. I've been back in this role now for 15 years, and it's really neat to see some of the individuals that I saw play every single week coming up and being inducted into the Hall of Fame. So one of the things I want to do before we begin is obviously a great day for Union College, great day for Union football, another win, and congratulations to Coach Jeff Behrman. I also want to extend a special welcome to one of our special guests here, our former chairman of the board and longtime board member, Mr. Frank Mesa, class of 73. The one thing I always remind Frank about and what I thank him for is he's got his name on a couple of buildings. He served the college for the last 30 years as a trustee, but his greatest gift to the college has always been his daughter, which was an All-American lacrosse player. So we thank you for Kerry. And Frank, we also are very thankful that she got Colleen's genes. So that's the greatest thing. We also have a number of so many former inductees, Hall of Famers here. It's great to see so many, and I want to recognize all of them. So first, we have a two-sport athlete, two-sport captain in women's lacrosse and field hockey, class of 81, Buthana Shukri. Union College's first ever player to play in the NHL from the class of 85, Steve Baker. A three-sport athlete in volleyball, basketball, and softball, team captain, MVP from the class of 86, Kim Mangino. A member of the inaugural team of distinction with the 71-72 basketball team, and a true gentleman, Mr. Bob Pisano. Arguably one of the greatest athletes to participate in Union athletics, a three-sport athlete and recipient of the Division III National Scholar Athlete of the Year, Erica Eisenhut. We had the coach of the 83 Stag Bowl team of distinction, one of the best teams in Union football history, John Audino. A two-sport athlete in soccer and lacrosse, she amassed 6 All-American honors, Molly Larkin. A three-sport athlete and three-sport captain in field hockey, basketball, and lacrosse from the class of 1984, Kay Lynch. A 4-year starter for field hockey and lacrosse, and the second female All-American from the class of 1989, no relation, Courtney Lynch. A two-sport athlete in soccer and lacrosse, and led both programs to their first conference titles from the class of 2000, Abby Harris. Both from the class of 1976 as individual inductees. They'll be part of the 75 men's soccer team, Craig Jeffries and John Denio. Teammates always. We also have several members of the 99 women's soccer team, including their coach, Brian Speck, that was inducted in 2013 as a team of distinction, Jen Capalbo, Tara Isley, Stephanie Maychek, and Samantha Ryle. This group is back to be inducted in the team of distinction for the 99 lacrosse team now. So obviously some pretty impressive teams those individuals were on. And finally, I want to give a really, really warm welcome to Mr. Bob Mcgee and his wife, Twinnie, for making it back here. And of course, all the inductees, which we're going to hear so much about through video and conversation in just a little bit. But it's great to see so many people here. I'm always so excited that we get over 250, close to 300 people for this event. And one of the things I always talk about is that I shared with a few of the inductees is just how challenging it is to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. You know, when you think about it, we've been competing in organized athletics since the mid-1800s. We've had nearly 160 classes graduate since that time. There have been thousands upon thousands of athletes that have competed in the pools, on the courts, on the fields, on the ice, and so many others. And over that 160-year history, there are only 80 individuals in 13 teams in our Hall of Fame. So you are sitting in some pretty good company, to say the least, and you should be very proud and very impressive. And I shared briefly of some of the accolades of some of our current Hall of Fame members. Let me just give you a little bit of an idea of what this class is comprised of. First and foremost, every individual inductee was an All-American at least once. We have a running back from the football team that rushed for nearly 5,000 yards in his career that is still in the top 35 nationally. We have the only two-time All-American in women's soccer history. We have a two-sport athlete in soccer and softball that was a part of only 183 combined wins and 7 NCAA tournament appearances out of 8 possible. We have a 3-time captain in the sport of hockey that became the program's first All-American and one of the first to play in the NHL. A 2-sport athlete in field hockey and lacrosse that became Union's first female All-American selection. A soccer and swimming coach that ranks as the all-time winningest coach in the sport of men's soccer, a pioneer and a truly influential coach that led women's field hockey, lacrosse, soccer, swimming, that impacted the lives of hundreds of young women and continues to this day. So Marty, I hear at times about the grind from some of our coaches of coaching one sport. Can you let them know what it's like coaching 4 sports, please? So in this group, there's 5 All-Americans. There's 3 Liberty League Players of the Year recipients. There's an academic All-American. There's a member of Division III's All-Decade team from the 2000s. There's a Gagliardi Trophy finalist, which is the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy with one caveat that is not part of the Heisman Trophy. It takes academic success into the equation. All of these individuals, along with 2 teams that turned in some of the most successful seasons in Union athletics history. And as I look around the room, I see field hockey players, I see soccer players, I see hockey, soccer, football, lacrosse, and other sports. But the great thing is that I also see doctors and lawyers and engineers and entrepreneurs and people that have made a difference in our society. I see coaches that fulfilled their true role as a coach, that were mentors and teachers and educators, and actually taught students more about the game of life than they did about X's and O's of their relevant sport. It's a testament to the quality of the education that we receive here at Union College, and the same things that I say to our current student athletes now. You can achieve at the highest levels, both academically and athletically, and you certainly have done that, and we are carrying on that tradition today. So we had a special guest that really wanted to be with us here tonight, and unfortunately the cold and flu season is running across our campus. We had 3 staff members that had to back out, and one of those individuals, unfortunately, is President Harris, who sends his regrets, but most importantly, sends his congratulations. And I'll take my hat off as an athletic director for a few minutes, and I'll put my alumni hat on and just say that we could not be more fortunate to have President Harris leading our institution. He began in the summer of 2018, and it's an understatement to say he hit the ground running. He has re-energized the campus, re-energized the alumni base. He has led a strategic planning effort that is going to pay significant dividends for our college over the next few years. So President Harris sends his regrets, sends his congrats. He also wanted to send the value of athletics at institutions like Union, a college that has 600 athletes and nearly 30% of the undergraduates participating, and just all of the life lessons that are achieved. You know, as we all think back about our own experiences, the time management, the work ethic, the teamwork, and probably the most important thing was the ability to learn how to overcome adversity, about knowing how to fail, and something I think is a little bit of a lost art these days, and it's just a great life lesson that we're always learning. So President Harris sends his congrats, sends his regards, and we look forward to a great night in celebrating all of you. So thank you for being here. So please enjoy your dinner, and we'll be back in a little bit with the induction ceremony. Thanks, everyone. So welcome back, everyone. This is the fun part. So I hope everybody enjoyed their dinner. I really just want to thank Union Dining Services and the College Park staff here for what they do, so thanks for all your efforts. I also want to acknowledge just our Hall of Fame committee. As I'm sure many of you can attest to, there's many meetings that all of us are going to for a multitude of reasons, and this is a meeting that we just have such a great time with, because essentially what we're doing is just looking back at the history of Union athletics and trying to identify great people in the history of athletics. So I want to just recognize, acknowledge each one of them. If they could just stand up and hold your applause to the end. Our Senior Associate Athletics Director, Joanne Little. Director of Athletics Communications, Steve Sheridan. Head Women's Soccer Coach, Brian Speck. From the class of 15, Ali Caruso. Class of 75, Kevin Crawford. Class of 72, Bob Pisano. Class of 86, Kim Mangino. Class of 65, Rick Crooks. So thank you, everyone. So I'm looking at this, and I noticed Kim Mangino and Bob Pisano are in the Hall of Fame, but they're on the committee. Was there anything that went awry there, or is that everything on the up and up, I hope, there? There's also a few individuals that I really want to thank for making all of this a reality. As you can imagine, there's a lot to pull together here, just to engage with all the inductees, with the teams, the others organizing this event here. So there's three people that have gone above and beyond. First, Joanne Little, our Senior Associate Athletic Director. And our Director of Communications, Steve Sheridan. And I can assure you, none of us would be here anywhere near here without the efforts that go unsung all the time, and how well she does for all of this in our event. Ali Caruso from the class of 15. So now I'd like to begin our inductions, and we're going to change this up a little bit this year. Normally we go all the individuals and the teams. We're going to combine one of the individuals in the team because he was the head coach of that team. So as I look at our first individual and team, this is a team that took to the pitch in fall of 1975 and turned in one of the best seasons in program history. Led by Coach Bob Mcgee, they established a school record of 12 wins and turned in an 86% winning percentage. They captured the program's first ECAC title behind leading goal scorer Craig Jeffries and leading assist man George Garavoltis, but it was a true team effort that accounted for their outstanding play. Individually, Bob Mcgee is one of the truly great coaches in Union history, leading the Dutchman for 18 seasons from 1973 to 1990. I'd ask that we turn to, usually I say screens, but we got a technical difficulty over here. So I'm going to ask we turn to the screen to learn more about head coach Bob Mcgee and the 75 soccer team.
In 18 seasons at the helm of the Union men's soccer team from 1973 to 1990, Bob Mcgee helped to establish a tradition of success and guided the program to many of the best years in school history. Inheriting a team that had won 13 games in the previous 3 seasons combined, Mcgee guided the Dutchman to a 13-2-0 record in his third year of 1975. He posted a 148, 93, and 18 record in 18 seasons, remaining the program leader in winning percentage and second in total wins.
All good coaches bring more to the table than just the typical coaching skills. Coach Mcgee was one of those types. You use the cliche, it feels like we're a family. We're just a big family.
5 of Union's 7 NCAA tournament berths and 3 of Union's 4 All-America picks occurred under Mcgee's mentorship. 3 of the 5 highest single-season win totals also came under Mcgee's watch, including a remarkable 4-year stretch from 1983 to 86 that saw the Dutchman go a combined 48, 10, and 5 and reach 4 NCAA tournaments. The 1983 team also won 2 NCAA tournament games to reach the 3rd round for the only time in school history.
Coach Mcgee, John, Daniel, and I were honored to be the co-captains for the 1975 men's soccer team, and we're grateful to have this opportunity to thank you for enriching all of our lives, all of the soccer players from 1973 to 1990, and not only our lives, but each of our lives. You have that special talent, Coach Mcgee, to speak to a team while reaching the right tone to inspire each individual.
Mcgee also spent 15 years at the helm of the Union men's swimming and diving team from 1973 to 88, helping to guide the program through the 2-year renovation of Alumni Gym during the 85-86 and 86-87 seasons. Bob Mcgee, welcome to the Union Athletics Hall of Fame. Led by head coach Bob Mcgee, the 1975 Union men's soccer team was one of the finest in school history, establishing a school record with 12 wins that is still tied for 5th all-time in program history, and finishing with the highest single-season winning percentage ever by a Dutchman squad. The Dutchmen captured their first ECAC Upstate Tournament title with an 8-0 victory over Plattsburgh State to finish the year on a 9-game winning streak, still the second longest streak ever by a Union soccer team. The squad also set school records for most goals scored with 54 and fewest goals allowed with 20 in a season, and were ranked as high as 9th in New York State behind only Division I and II programs. Individually, Craig Jeffries was named the program's first All-American after scoring a team-leading 17 goals, a mark that stood as the school's single-season standard for 26 years. George Garavoltis also remains the school's single-season assist leader with his 11 helpers that year, while the 4 goals of John Denio against Plattsburgh State stood as the school's single-game record for more than a decade. Congratulations to the 1975 Union men's soccer team, and welcome to the Union Athletics Hall of Fame.
So, Coach Mcgee, please join us along with your team up here with the 1975 men's soccer team.
I was told to say a few words, and I have to reference I was told to only say a few words, but I guess I cannot say just a few words. It's such a pleasure to see all the athletes out there that came through the same era as I did. It was such an exciting time, and each player offered so much to the program. And I'm just overawed, but I have to thank players, and I just have to say, let's give them a big applause. There's not much more I can say other than to the fellows once again. It's been a wonderful time. It was a glorious effort, and I shouldn't say effort, but era, that I was able to be around when you, as athletes, presented yourself, because, boy, you made my life so easy. It was such a pleasure, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much, athletes.
I just want to say congratulations. Excuse me. One minute. I just wanted to say to Coach, from all of us, we appreciate the support from Union, from Jim and Joanne, and everyone that the committee, everyone that was involved in this decision. And we are so pleased that Coach could join us tonight, because if he didn't come, we were all going to go to his place and find him. But he's an incredible man, and he did single-handedly took the men's soccer program at Union College to a whole new level. And he provided the opportunity for teams that followed to do the same. I believe, it's my belief, that they saw the success that we were able to achieve through a great group of guys that worked together, that had to work together because he told us we had to, and created the success, and other teams realized that could be us. That could be us. And so his legacy is not just the 18 years that he coached here. It's going on still. It continues forever. And we're very pleased to be a small part of that. And it's due to Coach. Thanks so much, Coach.
So you think a coach can have an impact on an individual? There's absolutely no doubt. So, Bob, thanks for everything you've done, and to the 1975 team, just an incredible season that we'd love to replicate here. So great job. Our next inductee, I'm reading something that I wrote earlier, which I wrote, our next inductee is arguably the best running back in the history of Union College. There is absolutely no doubt that this is the best running back in the history of Union College football. A program which dates back to 1886 and more than 130 seasons. He was a key piece to one of the most prolific offenses in the history of the program that finished the 2005 season a perfect 10-0 and went on to the NCAA playoffs. He finished his career with nearly 5,000 yards rushing and was named All-American, Liberty League Player of the Year in both his junior and senior seasons. He was named a finalist for the Gagliardi Trophy, among many other accolades. Please join me in learning more about Thomas Arcidiacono.
In 4 years with the Union College football team, Tom Arcidiacono completely rewrote the school record books on the way to one of the most prolific careers in Division III history. He finished his career 16th in D3 annals with 4,919 rushing yards, eclipsing the previous school record by an amazing 1,300 yards. He was named a finalist for the Gagliardi Trophy as the nation's top player during the team's dominant 2005 campaign, when he rushed for a school record 1,954 yards and 20 touchdowns in 12 games, a mark that ranked 13th in D3 history at the time. He rushed for 264 yards and 5 touchdowns in an NCAA tournament victory over Ithaca College, the second most yards in a game in program history, and was a consensus All-America selection in addition to D3Football.com and ECAC Regional Player of the Year honors. Named to D3 Football's All-Decade team for the 2000s, he finished with a school record 54 touchdowns in 40 games.
Thomas, I'd like to congratulate you on your induction into the Union College Athletics Hall of Fame. I'm very proud of you, and the award that you're receiving this evening is well deserved. I remember the first time that I saw you play, and I remember when you committed to Union College football. I was so excited because I knew the type of player we were going to get, but more importantly, I knew the type of person we were going to get. What you did for the Union College football program was amazing. You led us to an undefeated season. You led us into the playoffs that year in 2005, and you were a Gagliardi finalist, which symbolizes the best players in Division III. Over the course of your career, we challenged you and you responded. We also played some of the best teams that Division III had to offer and played one of the strongest schedules, and we remained undefeated because of your leadership, because of what you did on the field, and because of what a great player you were. I am so thankful that you committed to Union and I had the opportunity to coach you. You've become part of the Union College football lore. Congratulations, well deserved. And remember, you and I will be tied at the hip forever. You are my friend. Congratulations, my friend.
Tom Arcidiacono, welcome to the Union Athletics Hall of Fame.
Wow, standing here is really special. First, I'd like to congratulate my fellow inductees. What a deserving group of people. It's been really special to hear about everybody tonight. I'd also like to thank the powers that be that inducted me into the Hall of Fame. Before I take a step back in the past, I want to take a second to preemptively thank my wife, Mandy, for having to listen to me talk about myself for the next 5 minutes. While you weren't around to enjoy my days donning the Garnet #1 jersey, I'm excited you get to experience the power of football when our 2 boys suit up one day. I love you. It's been 25 years since I first put the pads on. It was junior Pee Wee Pop Warner. After only a few weeks, I liked playing the game, but I dreaded practice. And you can ask any of my teammates here tonight, that did not change while I was at Union. Those first few months, I begged my mom to miss practice each night. Then I had to miss the last practice of the season because we were going to a Bills game as a family. I remember going to hand my pads in and leaving the practice and crying. And I remember not really knowing why I was crying. I was young. I was only 8 years old at the time. And looking back now, I realize it was the first time I felt love for something other than a person. And I know the main reason that I'm standing here tonight is because of my love of football. Luckily for me, I had an incredible network of family who did nothing but champion my love for football. To my living grandparents here tonight, Sam, Nucha, and Sue, thank you for being my biggest fans. I love you all. To my grandpa Tom in heaven, thank you for seeing something special in me and pushing me further than I ever could have imagined on my own. Not a day goes by I don't think about you. I love and miss you. To my siblings, Tyler, Connor, Alexa, Allison, and Ashley, thanks for fueling my fire. As your big brother, I always wanted to make you all proud. And to my stepfather, John, I probably haven't told you enough, but thank you for all you've done for me. And thanks for making me a Bills fan. Actually, I take the Bills part back, but I love you. To my mom, Gail, you did all the thankless things that go unnoticed, like being my personal chef, my chauffeur, my pastor, and most importantly, the person I could always count on. You taught me many things, but humility was the cornerstone. Like the time in high school, I scored a touchdown in a lopsided game, and I remember flashing a Superman t-shirt from underneath my jersey to the cameraman in the corner of the end zone. I can vividly remember the next morning you giving me some choice words about my career being shortened if that's how I was going to disrespect my opponent and to act like I had been there before moving forward. Mom, thanks for your continued perspective throughout my football journey. I love you. Dad, we spent many hours in the cars together, a few hours a weekend, every other weekend for 15 years. I don't think either of us loved those car rides, but when they were stopped and life took hold, I realized how valuable those hours were that we spent together. I even know as you sit here tonight, you probably don't think I listened to 90% of what you said, and you are damn right, I didn't. But all kidding aside, those conversations and advice were invaluable to me, and the car rides were a blessing in disguise. Whenever I carried the football, I always wanted to make you proud. And since you love telling me all those stories about how great you were, let's make sure we settle the debate tonight about who was a better running back. Just ask Grandpa, I know he knows. When my recruitment started in high school, union really wasn't in the picture. I did not consider coming here until a few weeks before I had to make a decision. But in the end, the main reason I chose to come to union was because of Coach John Audino. Coach recruited me for 2 years straight. He knew it was a long shot, but he was unrelenting. He called during every open window, every single night, leaving messages, sending notes to the school, calling every night. My mom can attest to this. He left more messages. Luckily for him, his perseverance did not turn me off. As I noted earlier, my dad lived 2 hours away, so I was used to having an Italian guy call me relentlessly. I knew I made the right decision when I got the pads on because Coach Audino was an offensive genius. He implemented the complex strategy of giving me the ball 30 times a game. In all sincerity, I would not be standing here tonight if it wasn't for you, Coach. You did a hell of a job recruiting me. You were an incredible leader. You are an incredible man, and you're one of the union's greatest treasures. No one deserves to be in the Hall of Fame more than you, and I hope to be back here in a short time to celebrate such. Coach, I love you. Thanks for everything. Once Coach got me on campus, I was blessed to play with some incredible teammates, and we made a ton of magic together. On the field and some special moments off it. Bus rides, Friday night meals, training, planning those epic late night standing room only study parties at our now infamous campus house, 20U. While many teammates had an impact on my career, there are some I'd like to single out. First and foremost, as a running back, no group or teammates or coaches had a greater impact on my success than the guys up front. Tim Cannon, Elliot Silverstein, Pat Hatch, Gene Parloff, James Masso, Craig Avalone, Walter Roche, Andrew Salvo, Tony Morello, Dustin Connolly. I was blessed to have those guys paving holes for me, and tonight I feel like we all get in the Hall of Fame together. In addition to my O-line, I had some special teammates that doubled as special friends. Ryan Perry, thanks for showing me the ropes when I got on campus. We shared a special bond that I'll always appreciate. I love you, brother. Anthony Moratti, my quarterback, thanks for sharing 4 magical years with me in the backfield. Running the ball was undoubtedly made easier with you by my side. But there is no question your ability to hand me the ball is what made you special. No one handed the ball off like you, buddy. I love you. Steve Angeletta, the first week of camp, I knew you were a baller, and I was right. I will say this, though. Please teach your son to run block down the field better than you did, because the world has already seen enough diva wide receivers. All kidding aside, you and Moratti softened up a ton of defenses for me. I love you, brother. Matt Dumont, you played defense, so one may wonder what impact you had on my career. And to that, I would thank you for your role in our defense giving up 30 points a game because the offense could never let our foot off the gas. Just kidding, Brownie, if you're in here. I love you. But we made some great memories together. And last, but certainly not least, my co-pilot, my fullback, and the most unselfish guy in our high-flying offense, PJ DeGear. PJ, I want you to know how much you meant to my success. I remember thinking how hard it must have been week after week, year after year, to sacrifice yourself blocking for me and receive none of the glory. You never complained, and you blocked with the vision of a running back. You always made the right read. PJ always used to like to say before the game, I laced the track, you locked the flow. Tonight, we're doing it again, brother. And for my final moment on the stage, I'd just like to leave you all the same way that the running back group used to leave pregame warm-ups, as our coach John Krelovic used to circle us all up in the corner of the end zone, and he'd give a little motivational speech. But he always ended his speech with the same great line. He said, God blessed you with the gift to play football, and what you do today is your gift back. I like to think the good Lord enjoyed the gifts I gave back every Saturday. I know I enjoyed creating them. Thank you, and God bless everyone.
Thomas, congrats, so well deserved. Our next inductee was a 4-year starter on the pitch for the women's soccer team. The consummate team player reached 50 points in both her junior and senior seasons. She is one of a small number of Division III soccer players to finish her career with more than 40 goals and 40 assists. For her efforts, she was twice recognized as an All-American and Liberty League Player of the Year. Simply put, she is a winner. Union reached a program record 19 wins in both her junior and senior seasons, and in the 83 games she competed in, Union won 67. Let's learn more about Brittany Cressman.
In the impressive history of the Union women's soccer team, there has only been one player to earn multiple All-America honors, and that player is Brittany Cressman. Cressman started for 4 years on the pitch for the Dutch women, finishing with 49 goals and 43 assists for 141 points, making her one of only 58 Division III players all time to record 40 goals and 40 assists in a career.
Brittany was just someone we could count on up front. I believe we had Erica Eisenhut on the right side for 4 years, who's also in the Hall of Fame. So if you tried to key on Erica, we had Brittany on the left side, and vice versa. And it just made a very powerful combination up front for us. And they both had a great passion to go to the goal. Brittany had a great passion to score, but like I said, she also knew how to find her teammates if they had a better ability to finish. And stopping Brittany was not an easy chore. And my guess is that if I tried to recruit Brittany Cressman today, it wouldn't work. She'd be getting a Division I scholarship to play soccer somewhere.
She remains the school's all-time leader in assists, in addition to ranking second in goals, points, and games played, while also boasting the top 2 single-season assist totals and 2 of the 3 highest single-season point totals in program history. She was named to the NSCA All-America second team for the first time in 2003, when she set the school's single-season record with 18 assists and added 16 goals for 50 points. She earned All-America second team honors again in 2004, which she added to Liberty League Player of the Year honors, after again scoring 16 goals with 18 assists as a senior, making her the only player in school history to twice reach 50 points in a season.
So Brittany Cressman, I remember going on a Thursday night to Duxbury, Mass. To watch a high school game. I went to watch another player, and I remember as I was watching the game, there was this blonde haired young lady playing left forward, and she just kept dribbling the ball down the field and serving the ball. And I asked somebody who was standing next to me who that was, and I found out it was Brittany. And through a few conversations, I found out that Brittany's brother went to Union. So I believe her father came up to me eventually, and that's how the recruitment process of Brittany Cressman began. Fortunately, it was a pretty easy process. What made Brittany so powerful is that she was a natural left-footed player, and her mentality was strong. She loved to go to the goal. She had a tremendous cross, so my guess is that behind Missy Matuzowicz, her stats would be second in the history of our program. Like I said, not only was she great at scoring goals, but she was also great at finding somebody who had a better finishing option than her, and she was just lethal down that left side of the field for 4 years.
Brittany Cressman, welcome to the Union Athletics Hall of Fame.
Wow. First off, it's truly an honor to be standing up here as a member of the Union College Athletics Hall of Fame. Congrats to my fellow inductees. It really is a great honor. And thank you to the Hall of Fame Selection Committee. I'm really proud standing up here. Thank you to Jim Mclaughlin, Joanne Little, the entire athletic staff. And of course, a special thank you to Brian, although I wish we could redo a few of the comments in there, but we'll let them go. Actually, I wish I could rewrite my speech now that I know what you said, or if I'd had a little bit of opportunity to see that first. No, but Brian, the number of athletes that have been inducted into the Hall of Fame that have been under, or part of your program and been under your leadership is a true testament to you and your coaching ability. So congratulations as well. When I look back on my 4 years at Union, I'm truly grateful for the opportunities I had both on and off the field. I can honestly say that all these years, I can truly remember the rush and excitement and adrenaline of a big win, but also I can still remember the sting of a tough loss. Just a few months ago, actually, Brian and I were on the phone reliving some of these moments, and we talked a little bit about sophomore year, scoring the goal to put us up 1-0 against William Smith, who I don't think we had beaten yet. I think I even actually got a hug after that game, Brian, which, as Julie and Erica and Molly can attest to, those are hard to come by. But I can also remember the tough loss that we took to Oneonta, who went on to win the national championship. And Brian or Kim, you might want to get your phone out and hit record on this one. I remember halftime of that game, and we walked into the locker room, and Brian said, "Only way we lose to this team is on a free kick." And sure enough, that's how we lost. So you were right that time, Brian. But in all seriousness, while I'm truly grateful for the opportunities that I had on the field, I'm most grateful for the friendships that I made along the way. The group of women that I played with over the years are truly a really great group of girls that I still am very good friends with to this day. We've gone to each other's weddings, baby showers, and countless other weekends and fun things. In fact, one of my best friends, Molly Larkin, is sitting here, a fellow Hall of Famer as well, and her husband, Ed. So thank you guys both for being here and supporting me. I really appreciate it. I'd like to thank my family, my number one supporters. Without you guys, I truly don't think I'd be standing up here today. And my parents flew to just about every game, or drove to just about every game I think I had, so much so that my brothers joked if my dad had bought some real estate in Schenectady. But soccer has been a part of me since before I can remember. It started on the sidelines with watching my brother's games. John and Eric are here. And I was lucky enough to get into a few games in the backyard eventually, which inevitably ended in some slide tackling and me going into the house crying, which I suppose was all in an effort. It was all in an effort to toughen me up, or potentially maybe just a girl growing up with two older brothers. Growing up, I was always referred to as Eric or John's little sister, and that was something I was truly proud of. But for tonight, and even if it's just one night, I hope you two feel the same sense of pride in being Brittany's brothers as I did. So thank you.
Well done. Congrats, Brittany. Our next inductee was a two-sport athlete in soccer and softball and a four-year starter for both programs. All Julie Goronski did was simply make her teams and all of those around her better. Over her 4 years, her teams won 84% of their games, and she led the soccer and softball teams to 7 out of a possible 8 NCAA tournaments. She holds multiple school records in both sports, is the only softball player recognized as a first-team All-American. She was twice Liberty League Player of the Year and topped it all off as an academic All-American. Let's learn more about Julie Goronski-Tickle.
With a combined 183 wins and 7 NCAA tournaments as a member of the Union women's soccer and softball teams, Julie Goronski is one of the most successful student-athletes in Union athletics history. On the softball field, Goronski remains the program's only All-America first-team selection, a 3-time All-Region pick and 2-time Liberty League Player of the Year. She graduated as the school's all-time leader in 7 categories and still ranks near the top in most of them, including 2nd in RBIs, 3rd in runs scored and home runs, and 4th in batting average and hits. On the soccer field, Goronski posted a 61-8-5 record with 31 shutouts and a minuscule 0.52 goals against average, holding school records in all of those categories.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to coach Julie not only in soccer, but I was the assistant softball coach, and I think what made Julie such a great goalie is the fact that she played softball and vice versa. Her ability to read the flight of a ball coming out of the air was spectacular. Just had the great ability to judge the flight of a ball. Out of all the dual sport athletes that I coached, for sure Julie's one of the best I ever coached.
A 2-time All-Region selection, she owns the 3 highest single-season win totals in school history, including a 19-2-1 mark in 2004 that featured 15 shutouts and only 7 goals allowed in nearly 2,000 minutes of action. In addition to her exploits in competition, Goronski was a 4-time COSIDA Academic All-District selection, the second most in school history, and also was named COSIDA Academic All-America's second-team honoree in softball to cap her career. Julie Goronski, welcome to the Union Athletics Hall of Fame.
Good evening. Thank you all so much for being here today. It's been a really great honor to see a bunch of old teammates and learn about all the other inductees, so congratulations to all those being honored tonight. I'm in very great company. Special congratulations to Brittany, my teammate, for 3 seasons, and thank you for reliving that game against Oneonta where I, the goalkeeper, actually let in that losing goal. That is definitely something that stays with me forever. You remember all the great times, but you remember that one moment that stands out that will kind of plague you forever, so thank you. Although he's not here tonight, I want to thank President Harris for his support. Also the faculty and staff here tonight. What makes Union special is not only the athletic team, but the team that we as student athletes were supported by day in and day out. I also want to thank Jim, Joanne, Steve, and the rest of the athletic staff for putting on this amazing event. It's been truly great to come back and see all the faces. I must say that I was relieved when I received the notification of my induction. Definitely relieved based on my home front. My husband Sam is here tonight, and he's a wonderful athlete in his own right, but he did not get to live my time here at Union. He did not get to witness my career, and so he'd only heard rumors of my accomplishments. Both of us being competitive, there's a lot of pressure at home, especially when, maybe when you're at home and you throw the remote or an apple, things of that nature. And to be honest, I dropped them quite a bit. And I'm so glad to be here tonight, being honored, so that he can actually see that I, at one point, did catch. So thank you so much for backing me up on the home front. I really appreciate it. All jokes aside, when people ask me where I played college sports, I've traveled a bit and lived in a few different places. When they ask me where I played college sports, it's been truly an honor and a privilege to say that I played at Union College in Schenectady, New York. I'm always proud to say that. While being recruited by Brian, who's got a lot of attention tonight, he told me that I would make an immediate impact on the two teams, soccer and softball. And what I didn't realize at the time was the immediate impact that Union would play in my life. It was a wonderful place to learn and grow. So I'm so glad that Brian was one of those coaches that relentlessly recruited me time and time again over the years as I came up through high school. Union felt like home from the day I moved on campus and provided me with an extended family. It was such a big part of my experience here to spend time with my classmates and teammates, Molly, Brittany, Erica, Beth. Thank you all for being here tonight in support. Your unwavering friendship over the years and over the miles has meant more to me than you know. Support on campus wasn't just from my teammates, it was all around, from my professors to the athletic staff, the trainers. Not sure if they're here tonight, Jill, Brandon, Cheryl, from Mcgee, who was our team manager. There was just unwavering support at every corner, and I couldn't do it without everyone. Not only was I met with great support, but my extended family was as well. My late father drove for over 4 hours to each of our games, and he really didn't miss any. He was there for every single game. The coaches, especially Brian, quickly befriended him and actually invited him on the soccer bus with us. So he would drive for 4 hours from Dunkirk, New York, and come to Union, and then we'd have an away game. And all of a sudden, I know my dad is on the bus. So as a teenager, you can imagine, a little embarrassing, but definitely something that I will cherish for the rest of my life. So thanks, Brian. My student athlete here at Union has definitely taught me volumes and continues to play a vital role in my life. Lifelong friendships, self-confidence, mental and physical toughness, overcoming adversity. I think of all the awful weather games that we played here in upstate New York. I played in the fall and in the spring, and I don't think you could tell the difference between the two. It just all felt cold. I remember playing in snow, I think our freshman year, Erica, where we were literally cut and scraped by the ice that we were playing soccer in. So definitely taught me a lot about being tough. I estimated I played for over 40 coaches leading up to and through Union. And each of them dedicated so much to my personal development and athletic development. A heartfelt thanks to Brian Speck, who did have to put up with me for 2 different seasons. Thank you to Pete Brown, my softball coach, they both believed in me, pushed me, helped me develop leadership skills, and instilling important life lessons like always run to and from water breaks, which I think was number 5 on our team rules sheet. So thanks, Brian, for those important things. It's fun when you get this award and you go through all of your awesome memories that you kept. There were some great rules on that rule sheet, Brian. Definitely one I'll keep out. I learned from my family how to be dedicated to my passions. I could stop after telling you that my father was a special ed teacher for over 30 years, and my mom taught 2nd grade for, 25 or more. On top of that, like many others, they were extremely dedicated to helping me pursue my passions. After teaching all day, similar to another story, my mom would pile up me and snacks and dinner and my homework and the dog, and we'd travel for anywhere from 2.5 to 5 hours to seek better soccer opportunities in other places of New York State. There's definitely no excuse as to why I didn't get my homework done. We had the lights, we had everything in the car, and I was able to be successful through high school and beyond. So thank you, Mom, for all those wonderful times. My father coached me in multiple sports. God love him. That's a test in patience for sure, is coaching a female teenager. When I committed to Union, he coincidentally retired from teaching so that he could spend that time with me and support our teams. He missed one game in my collegiate career, driving over 4 hours, and that was only because the thruway was closed because of snow. So I estimate that's over 220 games he traveled to Union to support us, and it was really awesome to watch not only our teams grow together, but our parents grow together as well. It's a super special memory and shows me how dedicated our whole support system was. I have a hard time thinking of a game that I didn't have support at. My cute little grandparents, who are 95 and 94 and live in Norwich, New York, they showed up at as many games as they could, rocking the most awesome Union gear with snacks for everyone. So, Richard, the same goes for you. I think even on the coldest games, your warm hugs and chocolate chip cookies were definitely something that were really special. And actually, I fly back to Montana tomorrow, and I'm leaving with some chocolate chip cookies. So, some things never change, and that's awesome. And Sam, although you weren't in my life during the Union College years, your dedication to our country through your military service, and now working with injured, ill, and wounded service members in the athletic realm is something that I'm motivated by daily. And and chasing you up and down the mountains of Montana definitely doesn't hurt for motivation either. Without my incredible support system that's here today and some not able to be, I wouldn't be the person that's standing here, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Julie, and so well done. And to Brian and Brownie, way to go out on a limb and believe in her, by the way. That was just great coaching decision. And Monday we'll write up the NCAA violation for bringing parents on your bus as well, too. So, yes. Our second truly great coach to be inducted tonight coached 4 Union teams in her 20-year career between 1977 and 1997. She had a profound impact on the lives of so many young women during this time, and we remain grateful for her efforts in establishing the Friends of Union Athletics, which to this day remains vital to the support of all of our athletic programs. Let's learn more about this head coach of the women's soccer, lacrosse, swimming, and field hockey programs, Marty Morrison.
As a coach of no fewer than 4 Union teams between 1977 and 97, Marty Morrison helped to establish multiple female sports in the early stages of coeducation at Union and affect the lives of countless female student athletes in the process. Morrison had coached 4 different sports for a combined 29 seasons, including a 3-year stretch from 1984 to 87, where she coached soccer in the fall, swimming in the winter, and lacrosse in the spring. Morrison also served as senior women administrator at the school and helped to establish the Friends of Union Athletics, which remains a vital source of support for the athletic department.
Congratulations, Marty. There is no coach more deserving of the Union College Hall of Fame honor than you. You not only built the women's athletics program, you coached the entire department. And you literally bled maroon, as I recall, with your broken ankle in a co-ed lacrosse game shortly after you arrived on staff. You laid the foundation for Union College women's athletics, and I, like so many colleagues who have worked with you, would not be where we are today professionally if it wasn't for your mentorship, your willingness to lend a hand, your inspiration, and your deep-rooted team-first love of athletics. You were coach, confidant, friend For so many Dutch women and men, through the thick and the thin, the ups and downs, on the grass, the turf, the track, the ice, and in the pool. Many times over, you were our buffer for Bob Ridings with his pipe and his shuffle down the hall from the equipment room in Alumni Gym. So for this special and well-deserved honor, I send you a huge congratulations.
Her first coaching appointment at Union came with the field hockey team, which she took over in 1977 and promptly led to a 34-14-2 record over her first 4 years and a top seed in the 1979 New York State Tournament. She remains the program's leader in career winning percentage, posting a 52-37-3 record in 7 seasons. Her longest tenure came with the women's lacrosse team, where she won 59 games over 13 years, including an 8-3 record in 1981 that marked the most wins for the program until 1998. Marty Morrison, welcome to the Union Athletics Hall of Fame.
Well, I was sitting over at the table, and I had this speech, and one of my former assistant coaches were there, and every speech started out with the same words that I said. So they took my speech from me, but I'll do it anyway. Wow, what an honor. I have a lot of people to thank for both my career and also my life. I would like to thank my family, which is sitting here at this table, and they're my biological family and my married into family. And they came from Philadelphia, from Boston, and from Chicago today. So I just can't tell you how much that I appreciate you being here. I'm also so happy to be here the night that Bob Mcgee was honored. I worked with Bob for 3 years very closely, and he taught me so much. He was just a wonder. And he has such a great sense of humor. And his wife is here tonight, Twinny, and she used to ride on all of the team buses to the away swim meets. And for anyone that has not coached a winter sport, they're thrilling rides. You know, you play Williams College in Williamstown, Massachusetts. Now, for those games, Bob never came to the school. He just let me get on the bus, and he could just drive up from home. But sometimes we'd go over Route 2 or Route 7, and I don't know if any of you have been on that, but the snow and the ice is beyond belief. And you're in this bus on a 2-lane road, and all you're doing is looking down, saying, please don't skid, please don't skid. And, you know, he taught me so much about coaching and working with people. So, Bob, congratulations. I am just so thrilled that I'm here for you receiving the award that you received tonight. So thank you, Bob. You know, I also need to thank all the coaches that I worked with over the 20 years that I was here. We argued sometimes. We yelled at each other when they ran practice, the football team especially, John, when they would run over maybe 15 minutes and, you know, my field hockey team was waiting to get on the turf. But I have to tell you that every one of those coaches, it was an honor and a privilege to work with you and to be at Union when you were here, when I was here, sorry. You know, you get into trouble when you start naming names because you're always going to forget somebody. You know, I purposely didn't mention the names of family members because I was afraid I'd forget their names. But I'm going to throw caution to the wind. What the heck? You know, I told some of my players today I can almost do anything because they can't fire me anymore. Jim, you just really miss me. Okay, so some of the coaches are in the Hall of Fame already, but coaches like Brian Speck, he's not in the Hall of Fame, but you know, he took over the women's soccer team and has done wonders with it. Susan Bassett, I mean, she was an amazing swimming coach, and I believe she's in the Hall of Fame. Al Bagnoli, you know, I think he went to the University of Pennsylvania, and he did amazing things. He took the football team to the national championship. Charlie Robert, it was her speaking, and I was shocked to see her on the screen. I'm sorry that I have to say this, but John Audino, I also admired you and worked with you and just thoroughly enjoyed the time that I had with you. Judy Wolf, who was a swim coach. And then I was fortunate enough to have some assistant coaches that were just amazing. People like, who's here right now, Beth Hallenbeck. Okay, the Union field hockey team is over there. I apologize. She's the head coach of field hockey at Skidmore. Okay, now, but she was assistant here for about 10 years. People like Perky Francis. Perky's in the Hall of Fame. And, you know, she's an international field hockey and lacrosse official, but she started here. Maureen DeLuke, she was here a little bit earlier. Wendy Weimer. The list just goes on and on. But I learned something from each of those assistant coaches. I won't tell you what I learned from Beth. Okay. I'm sorry, Beth. I call her Betty, but her name is Beth, just so you know. The administration and sports support staff, sports information, equipment manager, trainers. Yeah, I don't know if Cheryl's here. Is Cheryl here? Okay, well, she's working, and she was working when I was here. She's getting really old, okay? Yeah. You know, administrative staff, yes, the athletic director and, you know, the secretaries. You know, every support staff person was just unbelievable. I can't tell you how hard they worked to help the teams. Okay, now, I'm going to probably go over the 5 minutes, but now, the most important group for me to thank tonight are the student athletes that are here. I'm warning you all that I did read the letters. You can be on the field tomorrow at 6. We'll do some wind sprints for some of the things that you said. I'm denying all aspects of that. But the truth is that if it was not for the student athletes, none of this would happen. It's the student athletes that are the heart and the soul of the program and of Union. It was such an honor for me. You know, I was at the football game yelling today, and that's why my voice sounds like this. But I was such an honor to share 4 years of your life. You know, unless you're in coaching and teaching, you just don't understand how much the student athlete and the students give back to you. I mean, it's such a rewarding profession. And I know that the coaches that are here right now understand that. There are several members here, and I know that Jim already did this, but I don't care, I'm going to do it anyway, is that I would like all the players at one time, so you're not individuals, please stand up that are already members of the Hall of Fame. And I don't care if you're on the football team, I don't care if you're on the soccer team, just every student athlete that is a member of the Hall of Fame, just stand up right now. And just, come on, get out of those seats. Come on. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, they're the reason we're here. That's the reason. I'm not going to name very many of those because they just stood up and got applause. But what I'm going to say, I want to recognize all of those players that came to every practice. They came to every game. They ran every wind sprint. They did everything that I asked. They played against, in quotes, the stars of the teams, and that's a lot of the Hall of Famers that stood up and made them better. They're the ones that bring the heart, the soul, and the character to the teams. You know, these are the players that never were got Athlete of the Week with the Concordiensis. And I want to tell you, the Concordiensis is the 13th oldest student newspaper in the United States. And it is the oldest continuing being published newspaper in Schenectady. Okay? I mean, that's part of being union, is that type of history. So these characters, these athletes, these unsung heroes that did bring their humor, their heart, and their soul, that's what brought a winning tradition to Union, where those athletes that are not in the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Fame people helped, but it was all the other players that were so, so important. And now I'm going to get into trouble again. I'm going to start naming names. And I don't know if you realize, but I mean, I have hundreds, if not thousands, of names in my head. And I promise I'm not going to say all of them. Okay, people like Roberta Stein. And by the way, these are their maiden names because I could never remember their married names. Lisa Freed, M.B. Burnett, Nancy Colt, Deb Downey, Sue Ensel, Autumn Cohen, Fiona Sucre, Barbara Swartz, I know Barbara's not here, Kay Lynch, Nora Tuthill, Elaine Pick, Patty Richards, Johanna Briggs, and then a few names, and this is really important for me, a few names that I did not coach, but they made an impact on my life. Julie Miller, she was an outstanding tennis player. Ron Plum was a football player, and unfortunately he passed away his senior after 2 weeks before he was going to graduate here at Union. But he made such an impact on my life. You know, I'm standing here and I'm looking at Jim, and he told us we had to be a certain time limit, and my sister is there saying, "You're way over." Okay, so that's sisterly love for you. But I can do it because he can't fire me anymore. You know, it's great. The last thing that I want to touch upon is Title IX. I'm trying, this is not a political thing, okay? I just need to do some history. Title IX was enacted in 1972. The NCAA had a lawsuit against Title IX in 1976, trying to get rid of it. Okay, let that sink in. Okay? The Supreme Court upheld Title IX at the end of 1976, and in 1977, all of the coaching jobs in the nation opened up for women. And I was fortunate that I had 10 years of experience and I could come to Union. If you don't think Title IX is important, then just think of the U.S. women's soccer team, and they're still fighting for equality. When I got here, was it equal? No, it was not equal. And I'm not sure that it's equal now. I know it's much better. I know it's much better. So many of the coaches have told me that. And it's because of Jim. And I know that. The thing that's important is that I still hope that the young athletes, the ones sitting over there at that table, participation in athletics is so important for women. It makes them strong women, and we need strong women to continue the fight for equality. And I know that the young ladies over there, field hockey, I'm passing this on to you. I'm not done. I'm not dying, okay? But you need to know what the history is and continue to support women's athletics and equality for women. Again, I want to thank you for this honor. It truly belongs to every one of those old students over there, because without them, I would not be here. You were the ones that were willing to work hard, to play hard, and become absolutely the most wonderful, supportive women that are both in industry and education that you are today. So thank you all. I just cannot tell you what this means. Thank you.
Congratulations, Marty. So well deserved. Our next inductee was instrumental to the rebirth of the men's ice hockey program after a 30-year absence. A member of the first class in 1975, touted as a highly skilled prospect and leader, he certainly did not disappoint from the moment he arrived in Schenectady. He wore hockey's emblematic capital C on his sweater for 3 seasons, one of only 2 players in the history of the program to accomplish that feat. For his outstanding play and the overall success of the team, Jack Rankin was recognized as the program's first All-American and one of the first Dutchmen to skate professionally after being drafted by the Detroit Red Wings. Let's learn more about Jack Rankin.
One of the most important figures in modern Union men's hockey history, Jack Rankin was the program's first All-American, whose excellence helped to restart the varsity program after a nearly 30-year absence. When Union reinstated hockey prior to the 75-76 season, Rankin was elected tri-captain of that initial squad and in both subsequent seasons, making him one of only 2 players in school history to wear a letter 3 times. Rankin earned the program's first AHCA College Division All-America honors as a sophomore in 76-77, leading the team to a 22-3-1 record and a school record .865 winning percentage.
Hi, Jack. Your old buddy Steve Baker here. Congratulations on your induction to the Union College Athletic Hall of Fame class of 2019. It's an honor that's well deserved and certainly overdue. As I reflect back, I remember the first time we met. Coach Harkness introduced us in our locker room. I thought to myself, this guy is built like a solid block of cement. Man, am I going to love playing behind him. From that moment on, we became fast friends. There's much that I'm grateful for today. Following you on the ice as a mate, witnessing your marriage to Doreen as your best man, following your lead to return to Union to complete my education, observing your drive and success in building your company, the Rankin Group, into a multi-state powerhouse, attending your smart and beautiful daughter Lindsay's wedding to Rafi, comparing notes on our combined 7 grandchildren, and always knowing I had a buddy and an attentive ear, willing to provide advice and counsel over these many years since Union. Please know you are a cherished friend, a leader for the ages. Thank you for all you've done for me. As Union's motto suggests, under the laws of Minerva, we become brothers, and we remain so to this day. Congratulations.
In addition to his stellar defensive play, Rankin also scored 7 goals with 40 assists for 47 points in 55 games, including 3 goals and 23 assists during his All-American campaign. Rankin became one of the first Dutchmen to make it to the professional ranks in 1978 when he signed with the Detroit Red Wings. He played 2 seasons with the Kansas City Red Wings of the Central Hockey League and both the Kalamazoo Wings and the Fort Wayne Comets of the International Hockey League, scoring 7 goals and 25 assists in 85 games on the blue line. Jack Rankin, welcome to the Union Athletics Hall of Fame.
My boys told me not to get emotional today, but I don't know if I'm going to make it. Jim, thank you for that introduction. And thank you, Steve Sheridan and Joanne Little, for all the help you gave me along the way. Thank you to the committee for seeing me through this induction. Thank you to Coach Bennett, who I know was instrumental in letting me stand here today. I talked to, and congratulations on his 2014 national championship. What a honor that was. I talked to the coach yesterday, and he said, Jack, we've got 11 freshmen on this team, and our guys came in 1975, and we had a freshman team of 20 guys. And he says, so I know that you know a little bit about what it takes to have an all-freshman team. Would you come in and talk to them today? So myself and my teammates went in and spent about an hour with the coach's team, and it was such an honor to talk to those boys and see the opportunity ahead of them. And many of my teammates said if we could do it over again, we would do it in a heartbeat. We'd give anything to be back in that locker room. And I think the boys appreciated that message. So good luck to the coach for the rest of the season. I owe so much gratitude to so many people, and I'm going to start by saying thank you to Mr. Achilles for building that rink. At the time, it was state-of-the-art arena, and he donated all the funds. To Dr. Bonner for having the foresight to bring hockey back to Union College and to hire a guy like Ned Harkness to manage building the rink, recruiting a team, and putting Union College hockey on the map. My most significant debt of gratitude is to our coach, Ned Harkness. He's the only coach in NCAA history to win 2 national championships at 2 different schools, in hockey and lacrosse at RPI and Cornell. From the day I met him, he began teaching us how to win, not only on the ice, but in the game of life. He was an inspiration to us all. He became, after my playing days with him, he became one of my dearest and most cherished friends. He was a teacher and a mentor. And he taught us how to play the game of hockey and how to win. I think our record was something like 45-7 in the time we were here. He said he was my friend. He asked me to be his best man at his second wedding after his beloved wife Irma had passed. And I had the privilege the sad privilege, to be one of the eulogists at his funeral in 2008. I want to say we still miss you, Ned. I want to say thank you to a couple guys who were also instrumental in bringing hockey back to Union College. Ned came on the campus in 1974, and he had 2 guys that worked tirelessly with him. One of the guys is being honored today, Dave Sanderson. He and Dougie Birch were Ned's right-hand man when he was promoting, recruiting, and developing this program. So thank you to Doug and Dave. I owe thanks and heartfelt gratitude to a special Union College family. The Abbas. Some of you may know them. Chuck Sr. was class of 1951. Chuck Jr. was class of 74 and a member of the legendary 1972 basketball team here. His other son, Tommy, and Stevie was a member of the team 75 to 78 or 79, and their sister, Kathy. But Mrs. Abba was a very special lady, and today's her 90th birthday. And she said that the family couldn't be here, but she insisted that her son Steve come up here to represent their family. And the reason they were so special to me is they welcomed me into their home and their hearts, and I lived with them during my sophomore and junior years here at Union, and they treated me like their 4th son. So I owe a big debt of thanks to the Abba family. And happy birthday, Mrs. Abba. I hope you have a wonderful 90th today. Some others that I owe gratitude and a big thank you to is Father Erwin Schweigert, who is our team chaplain and our spiritual advisor while I was here at Union. And Doc Soa, who is our academic advisor, and Professor Ross, who was really helpful to me when I came back to finish my degree here at Union after my pro career was over. Another thing that was amazing in my time here at Union was the Booster Club. We had an amazing Booster Club. Thank you for your kindness and your generosity. They were always there for us, going on the road, having us over for dinner, and just being terrific supporters. And I want to name some of them. Especially Neil Golub for his generosity, Howard Goldstock and Goldstock Sporting Goods, Harry Helfrich, Dr. George Voss, who you guys remember stitched this up more than a couple of times. The Gillespie family, the Feuerstein family, the Della Rocha family, who's here tonight, the DeBlazes, the Penfolds, Dr. and Mrs. Broll, thank you very much. The Ferrara family, Sam Frankel, and just the way they opened their homes for us was simply amazing. Thank you. I certainly need to thank my teammates too. So many of them came here today. I think we've got 12 of the guys that came back from as far away as Scottsdale, South Carolina, Tampa, Boston. It's such a privilege and an honor to be here with you guys today. I'd like to ask you guys to stand up and be recognized for the championship caliber team that we were. Would you guys please stand up? I especially want to thank my buddy Steve Baker, who nominated me for this Hall of Fame. And I think he felt like he owed me something for all the shots I blocked for him. And recognized Kip Churchill, who was the other three-time captain here at Union. And he was a scoring machine. He had 59 goals and 73 assists for 132 points in only 54 games. And I certainly hope that his accomplishments will earn him a spot in this Hall of Fame someday. Donnie Marshall, our other captain. He was the hardest worker on the team. He never seemed to run out of energy, and he inspired us to work harder. Can't forget my buddy Pete Crawford. He was my sometime defense partner. He would say to me, "Jack, just give me the puck and cover for me, because I'm going to be down at the other end generating some offense." And Skeeter Gazzola, who was the class clown of the team. He always kept the locker room loose and always had us laughing. I could tell a story about every one of you guys because you were a big part and are still a big part of my life. Competing with you every day on the ice under Ned's high-energy, constant motion practices made me a better hockey player. But being associated with you guys made me a better man. I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for being here today. I want to remember two guys that aren't with us anymore. Brad Hinterberger was a big, tough left winger with a heavy shot and an infectious smile and laugh. And he passed away last May. And Dougie Birch, also known as Chumley, he was one of the most selfless guys I ever met. He did more for all the guys on the team than we could have ever expected. Such a guy that, I'll miss him. And I want to give a big shout out to Kevin Cardos, number 7. He can't be with us today due to an illness, but he was a magician on the ice, and probably the most liked guy on the team. God bless you, Kevin. And I want to say thank you to my family, my mom and dad, Terry and Joanne, who sacrificed and put a lot of effort forth in raising 4 hockey players. And if any of you are hockey parents here, you know how hard a job that is. It's tireless. It's expensive. And thank you, Mom and Dad. To my wife, Doreen, who was my biggest supporter, and also sometimes my harshest critic. I'd come out of the locker room, I didn't need to have anybody else tell me how I played. She'd say, Jack, how'd you let that guy in front of the net go? Or, didn't you see Jenks standing at the corner? He was wide open. And so thank you, Doreen. Thank you for all your support. And my kids, Lindsay, Bobby, and Donnie, who are here today. It's been a lot of fun with you guys. And my grandchildren, Jackson, Alessandra, Braden, and Lucas, who are here, and our newest family member, Tareen. Thank you for being here to celebrate with me. Now I want to share a memory with you guys of my most memorable game here at Union. And it was memorable. It was a cold night in early January 1977, and a blizzard was roaring through Schenectady when the UNH Wildcats, the #1 ranked team in collegiate hockey, Division I collegiate hockey, visited Union College. Their team had 6 future NHLers, including Bob Miller from the Bruins and Rod Langway from the Montreal Canadiens and Washington Capitals, and the last guy cut from the 1980 Olympic team, Ralph Cox. So they had a lot of firepower. We knew we could compete with Division I teams because we had already beaten Northeastern, St. Lawrence, and Ohio State. But these guys were #1 in the country. And Ned said, they're coming after you, so you guys better be ready. In spite of the blizzard, it was standing room only. The game started, and through the second period, we were up 4-3. That was on goals by Willers, Judd, Feasby, and Cardos. Steve Baker was playing his heart off to try and keep this juggernaut from overwhelming us. The third period, we came back out for the third period. And UNH scored right away, tied the game up 4-4. And we battled back and forth for the next 10 minutes. At about the 10-minute mark of the third period, there was a face-off to the left of the UNH goalie, and Don Marshall was cruising into the circle, and I yelled to him, and he came back to me, and I said, Donnie, we can beat these guys, so let's quit screwing around and get one. And he went into the face-off circle. He won the draw, stepped around the UNH center, and fired a rocket over the UNH goalie's shoulder into the upper part of the net. And he raised his arms and turned around and skated over to me with a big smile and said, was that quick enough, Jack? I said, yeah, Donnie, that was quick enough. After that, we pumped 3 more goals into the net and one going away 8-4. from that day on, we knew that we could compete with any team at any division level in the country. Again, I want to say thank you to the other, and congratulations to the other recipients. It's an honor to be standing here with you guys. Thank you to my teammates and my family. And let's, after we're done here, and I'm sure it took over 5 minutes, but after we're done here, let's go over to Achilles Mesa, Mesa Arena now, and cheer on Rick and the boys and watch them take it to St. Lawrence. Thank you very much.
Congrats, Jack. Well deserved. Our next inductee is also a two-sport athlete from the field hockey and women's lacrosse teams. As a four-year starter on the field hockey team and a top defender on the lacrosse team, Carolyn Zattel received numerous accolades, including all-state honors, recipient of the Robert M. Ridings Award, signifying Union's top female senior athlete, and then made history when she was recognized as the college's first female All-American following her senior field hockey season. Let's learn more about Carolyn Zattel Lowe.
As the first female in Union College history to be recognized as an All-American, Carolyn Zattel helped to pave the way for future Dutch women as a member of the field hockey and lacrosse teams from 1984 to 88. On the field hockey field, Zattel helped lead the Dutch women to 3 straight winning seasons as a four-year starter, including a 10-5-1 mark as a sophomore that remained one of only 4 double-digit win totals in the program's first 30 years. She earned all-state second-team honors as a junior before helping the team to a 9-4 record in her senior season, when she was named a Mid-Atlantic representative on the All-America squad, as well as earning Union's Robert M. Ridings Award as the school's top female student athlete. She helped the team win its first New York State tournament appearance as a sophomore in 1986, where the team finished 5th, and then started in each of her final 2 seasons, serving as team captain in her final year.
All-American talent, tenacious, determined, high energy, excitement, intensity, hunger to excel, and a smile from ear to ear came to practice every day with you, Zoots. You were student first of the game, in the classroom, and of life. You were a track star on the field hockey and lacrosse fields as speed was your weapon. Your trademark in field hockey was your kayaking run with your stick. You ran like the wind. Carolyn, I'm so proud of you and all that you've accomplished as an exemplary student athlete. You were certainly a pace setter for Union athletics. Thank you for the treasured memories, and congratulations to you and your family for this so well-deserved and special honor of being inducted into the Union College Hall of Fame.
Carolyn Zattel, welcome to the Union Athletics Hall of Fame.
Wow. I know, right? And going last is rough. Get to sit there the whole time. And it's funny, too, because I married a Lowe, so I moved halfway up the alphabet, but tonight I'm a Zattel again. In 1984, I graduated high school, and I really thought I was hanging up my cleats. I had a decent high school career, but I wasn't all that recognized, and I certainly didn't have any calls from coaches in college. But as it got closer to September, I think there was a part of me that just could not let it go. And I called up Charlie Roberts, then head coach, who we just saw, and I must have pleaded my case a little bit. And to her credit, she asked me to come up to preseason workouts. And the following spring, I walked on to Marty Morrison's lacrosse team after not having played it in high school. And here I am tonight, and it is just so amazing.
And it's really a credit to those coaches and Union College and really Division III sports in general that someone like myself could continue to participate and compete and maybe even attain like a level of performance I didn't think I could do. So I am just so grateful. And I'm grateful to Beth Hallenbeck, who's here tonight. Betty, she's Betty to us. She was an assistant coach for both of those teams. And she was so inspiring because she could hop on that field and display what we needed to do, like effortlessly. And you encouraged me those 4 years, Betty, and I really appreciate it. So I'd like to thank a lot of people, those included, of course, but I also want to thank my teammates, some of which are here tonight. You heard Charlie call me Zoots, and that was my nickname. And to this day, if I were to hear that called out in a room, I would just break out in a huge grin and start looking for one of you. Those 4 years were amazing, and I can't tell you how much I enjoyed them. And you guys made it so fun. I mean, Marty, you put up with a lot. We were a fun-loving group in those years, right? We played hard, we competed hard on the field, but we had a lot of fun off the field too. And it was really an amazing time for me. So I appreciate all of you. And I want to recognize one person in particular who's here this evening, and her name is Courtney Lynch. She has stood up a number of times tonight. She was an amazing student athlete here. And I really appreciate the fact that she came tonight with her daughter Brody to support both Marty and myself. It's really amazing. Her nickname, Sport, Courtney Lynch. You always have a nickname when you play athletics. She stepped on that field and this campus a year after me, but she came into this Hall of Fame before me, and I am just so thrilled to call you a teammate and a friend. So thank you. To my family, who are all here this evening, my parents, who made this possible, allowed me to come to Union, and were just unconditional supporters of my athletic career. My father would have loved this. Ever since I learned about this award, I don't think there isn't one member of my family who didn't say, wow, Daddy would have really loved that. My mother's here this evening. She was darned and determined to be here, and we got her here. My mother was that mother that was at every event my whole life, and to this day, she will say that the best thing that ever happened to me in my athletic or college career was not getting into Cornell. Yep. To the rest of my family, my two sisters, Kathy and Laura, you being here this weekend is incredibly special. To my husband, Frank, who never saw me play either, but somehow has been my greatest fan, and has bragged about me to my 4 boys, all of which are here tonight. Zach up from Nashville, Jake from Clemson, and my 2 high school seniors. Thank you for being patient all those years and listening to Dad talk about me and keeping the eye roll to a minimum. I hope that being here tonight fulfills that and lets you understand how much I enjoyed these years. Thank you to everyone who made this possible, to Jim and Joanne and Steve and anyone who maybe put in a good word for me. And to the rest of the inductees tonight, this is really so special, and I really am going to make it an annual event. Just couldn't understand what this was like until I got here. So I hope to see you all again next year. Thank you.
Congrats, Carolyn. Our 1999 women's lacrosse team, led by UCAA Coach of the Year Linda Bevlander, the 1999 season was a season that saw the first UCAA championship, national rankings, 3 All-Americans, and the very first female team at Union in any sport to make the NCAA tournament. Let's learn more about this 1999 lacrosse team.
The 1999 campaign was a season of firsts for the Union women's lacrosse team. The first UCAA championship, the first national ranking, the first 3 All-Americans in program history, and perhaps most impressively, the first female team at Union in any sport to make an NCAA tournament. Led by UCAA Coach of the Year Linda Bevelander, the Dutch women won a then-school record 14 games, including a stretch of 10 straight victories that remains the 3rd longest streak in program annals. The team ranked as high as 2nd in New York State and 13th nationally, as a result earning the team an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. The team's 253 goals scored that season still rank second all-time on the school's single-season list. Individually, Union was led by its 3 All-Americans. Abby Harris was named to the IWLCA second team after breaking the school's single-season scoring record with 53 goals and 72 points. Team Most Valuable Player Sarah Moss was named the UCAA Player of the Year and a second-team All-American after scoring 51 goals and grabbing 80 ground balls. While Samantha Ryall was named third-team All-America honors thanks to her 34 goals, 11 assists, and team-leading 45 caused turnovers. Congratulations to the 1999 Union Women's Lacrosse team, and welcome to the Union Athletics Hall of Fame.
Winter hours. I'm old now. I'm also short. Thank you. And I thank everybody here because they did it. They worked their behinds off. My job was easy. They had a fire in their belly. They were deliberate. They were decisive. They had a desire to be the best they could be, and they never stopped. And that's something that you can't teach. That comes from inside. You know what? I'm tired right now, honey. Because I'm an old lady. They were unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't tell you. Each and every one of them. And they came out every day. They fought hard. Sorry about my Massachusetts accent, but it did come back after the 8 years I spent in New York. They're amazing, and they just didn't quit. And I don't know, I'm getting emotional, but they fought every day, and they believed. And one of our songs was the Cher song. They can bust into tune at any time. I believe, and not only did they believe in themselves, but they believed in each other. And I think they felt in their heart that I believed in them, and that I gave them the best I could, and they gave it back to us, to the team. So, and each and every one of them brought something really special to the team. But because of their belief in each other, that's what made us special. And they never stopped. When we had to play RPI, let me tell you, I'm playing Beth. No, they just didn't give up. And they kept going and they kept going. And I believe that comes from within. And you can't teach that. So like I said, my job was easy. All I had to do was bring it out in them because they have a fire in their belly. And they were unbelievable, and they still are. They're a great group of, well, you're approaching your 40s now, so. But you guys, it's just, I'm so fortunate to be up here with them in the company, and in the company of everybody else tonight. And I really appreciate it, and thank you very much, Moss. Are you busting out in tune, honey?
I just wanted to say on behalf of the team that we want to actually thank Coach Bev. She's right. She brought unbelievable energy to our team and program. And, you know, as she already mentioned, she really believed in us. And so as a result, we believed in each other and believed in ourselves. And that was an unbelievable thing. We wanted to win for you, Coach Bev. We wanted to win for each other. And that was really all because of your leadership. And even now, as we raise our own kids and coach our own teams, we teach your team values, that playing for and with each other is really the only way to play. So this was just an unbelievable team experience, so thank you very much.
I think being a part of this team under Coach Bev Lander, you don't realize what it's like to play for an American Gladiator until you play for an American Gladiator. But truly, what you learned from her is that with the support of your teammates, that you can achieve anything that you believe in, and that leadership that she brought every day to our practices and how amazing and fun she made our practices. Best shape ever that any of us were probably in. True statement.
Well, like I said.
But truly playing and having the union experience and the friends and the leadership was an amazing, amazing experience. And I think that we didn't have this in mind when we were out there on the field and we were playing, but what an amazing result that happened just from everyone believing in each other and having amazing leadership. So thank you.
I'm up. No, I don't think it'll be what you expect, Jane. I got into coaching because of Bev Lander, and also because it was a job that I quickly got right out of college. Took the highest paying one.
She was highly sought after, by the way.
I was. But I had a unique privilege of taking part in every single practice and during the games watching all of you. And it was a privilege. And I did pad your stats. So all you All-Americans, you're welcome. But I think what we learned has been said a couple of times, but I can boil it down to kind of three things. One is that we were told very quickly from the beginning, I don't need you to love each other, but I need you to respect each other. And that was told to us in '98. And what it evolved to was our team in '99 and the team that we're being honored for today. All right, so thank you for that. We didn't have that before you. Right? The other thing that you're taught is work hard, right? Work very hard. And so when I say we were in the best shape of our lives, I think many of you in the audience have probably heard of CrossFit, all right? Yes? We were doing it before it was CrossFit. It's very true. And lastly, I think what you get are unforgettable moments. And so I wanted to share with you, it's not actually any of us. This is actually one of the kids that I coached. And her name is Dia. And she's a field hockey player. And she said, one recurring dream of mine is my field hockey dream. She said, in my heart, it pounds, and I feel the adrenaline rushing through my veins, pumping my legs into action as I keep my stick on the ball, slaloming up the field. I dribble towards the net. I hear my teammates calling for a pass, and I conjure the energy to comply in mid-stride. I feel and taste the salty sweat, smell the freshly cut grass, and I hear the crack of the stick against the ball so vividly. And as I sprint, I feel so free, almost like I'm flying. I miss playing. I miss my coaches. I miss my teammates. I miss the fluidity and synchronization our team had, and just that feeling you have when you're in your zone doing what you love. There are lots of things I still partake in that bring me joy, but field hockey is something I have to leave in the past, but it will always have a special place in my heart. I have to thank my team and my coaches, the strongest women ever. The dream reminds me that I'm capable of pushing my body to the brink and overcoming that momentary negative voice that tries to convince you to give up. Due to the normal aging process, which you so eloquently reminded us of,
okay, I'm on the other end.
along with unforeseen chemo and radiation side effects, I'm not able to be as physical as I used to be. So these dreams leave me feeling nostalgic as much as they fulfill the emotional rush that is a consolation to actually playing. I'm so thankful that my brain lets me have this dream every now and then. And for any of you that don't get what athletics gives you, I think this is the best example. So thank you. We're all honored. It's a tremendous honor. You won't know the feeling until you get up into an audience and get to receive it. Thanks to the football team for sticking around for us, per usual. We'll see them later at a frat, I'm sure. All right. Thank you all. Tremendous evening.
Thank you. Remarkable. You win.
So I really want to congratulate and applaud the 99 women's lacrosse team being the first of the NCAA, and you know what you think what we saw it lead to, and from soccers and softballs and so many other sports that were just competing at that level, aspiring to be you. So thanks for being the first, thanks for doing it so well, and thanks for representing the union the way that you did. I want to thank everybody for being here. This is one of my favorite evenings every other year, I should say, since it's a biennial event, and I appreciate everyone sharing it. I would like to ask the individual award winners to come up for some photos. To the team individuals, we also have certificates up here for you to grab, and would look forward to a photo session. So thanks everybody for being here. Have a great night. Thanks for your support of Union.